Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate Investor Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andressa.
So on today's show, we have Monick Halm, and she is just a powerhouse woman, right, Andressa?
Yes, she is.
She's just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
We could be talking to her for hours.
Forever, right? She's the founder of the Real Estate, Investor Goddesses. She's got some amazing resources. She aligns with our mission so much. So she's just great. And she's also a real estate investor and syndicator with over 14 years of experience. I think she owns something close to like 1,300 units. So she's been through the last recession. She's got so many great insights to share with us today. We do talk about everything that's happening in our world. I think what was most helpful, and I think you'll get something out of this, she actually breaks down the meaning of crisis and how it has both danger and opportunity. And she gives some great tips and suggestions on how to poise yourself so you can take control of your life and also take control of the potential opportunities that are going to be in front of us.
Absolutely. And also she addressed what you can do now, right? We're in the middle of this quote unquote crisis or opportunity, depending how you look at it. And she shared with us what are the strategies that she is in contact with other leaders and thoughtful people that are not just sitting down, eating potato chips, right? They're thinking, they're in like problem solving mode. And she shared very specific tips for you to run your rentals right now and also give the support to your tenants so you can strive during this time. This
Absolutely.
Is like a must for you now. And I hope you guys stay at home and safe. So enjoy the episode.
Investors, as we all know, financing deals in today's market can be a bit challenging at times. If you're looking at funding your next real estate transaction, we are so excited to introduce to you Fund That Flip.
Fund That Flip is a lending partner dedicated to grow your real estate investment portfolio. They specialize in fix and flip, buy and hold, new construction, and cash out refi for 1 to 4 units.
Ladies, we have known the founder, Matt, and his team for many years now, and we can assure you that their support goes beyond just lending money. They become a true partner.
So if you're looking for great terms and reliable service, check out fundthatflip.com/investher.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andressa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Investor Show, where we're on a very big mission to support women in serving them in creating financial freedom and living a balanced life. We do every week, and we're excited, super excited, to have Monick Halm on our show this week. Monick, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. We have like similar missions. I feel like I'm with soul sisters here.
Yeah, that's right. We're with our soul sister on the West Coast since we're on the East Coast,
That's right.
Monique's got an amazing journey. She's doing amazing things, just so similar to what we're up to with the real estate investor community. And, we're just really excited to have her on and talk a lot about her story and her journey. I'm going to start with a tip for everyone, right, Andressa? We like to share something useful for our ladies that are listening and taking this in, something kind of quick and useful, right?
What's going on with you?
So, for a lot of us, we've been in the realm of adjusting, right? We're all adjusting in this new pandemic situation that's happening in our country, in our world. So for me, like all of us, we're adjusting. And, yesterday was a lot of homeschooling with my kiddos, less work time for me. And I just, by the end of the day, I was just seriously considering banging my head against the wall. So I decided not to do that. And instead went on Facebook because that's
good choice.
Good alternative, right? So Facebook's a good alternative from banging my head against the wall. So, but it's funny. I saw someone post about mindfulness. I'm like, that's exactly what I need. I've been meditating and what have you in the morning, but in terms of like mindfulness throughout the day, I could definitely get better with. So it was a great little acronym I heard, and I wanted to share with all of you. It's called STOP. And it kind of stands for the STOP stands for different things. So the first one is S, it stands for stop. So that's literally just stop, in your kind of negative spiral, your, whatever negative emotion that's not working for you, just stop. T is take a breath. It seems so simple, right? Take a breath. We all know we need to breathe. I heard it this weekend though, that you need to breathe out something negative and breathe in something positive, right? So breathe in confidence, breathe out overwhelm or what have you. So I just thought that was cool. The O stands for observe. And how powerful it is to start observing your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings. Sometimes I'm so annoyed and I don't even know I'm annoyed, right? And I'm like, hold on, I got to get better with this. I got to get better observing. If I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, I'm stressed, what have you. And also your body teaches us a lot. And then the P is proceed. So the P then gives you that like pivot. There's time to pivot. There's doing something to support you, whether that's calling a friend, doing a quick meditation, taking a walk, having a cup of coffee, having a glass of wine or a bottle of wine. No, something positive, right? Whatever works for you, but something to support you in that moment of overwhelm. So stop, take a breath, observe, and then proceed. So for me last night, I did those 4 things. And the positive was I actually journaled. I proceeded and actually journaled how I was feeling. And I'm not a big journaler. I've been working on that. And it was really like therapeutic. Then I went to sleep. So I give that to all of you. We're all figuring it out, this new normal right now. And we all just need to keep getting better at looking inside ourselves of how we're going to get through this in a mindful way.
That is so true, right? So I was watching an interview from Tim Ferriss with Brené Brown, right? Super powerful people. And during the interview, Tim Ferriss recommended a book called Already Free. Let me get by Bruce Tift. And I start listening to it. And oh my gosh, it sounds to me that this book was written for what we're going through right now. Mm. And it's so weird, right? That you're like, oh my gosh, what's this guy? Like, did he know something or what's going on here, right? But he deals with the Buddhism and how Buddhism look at different situations. And he talks about that suffering is a choice. It's much more how we deal with the situation than the situation itself. So I am still reading it and I highly recommend to all of you. We're going to put the link on our show notes too, so you can also get that support.
Love it. Love it. And I think we're going to, as we jump into Monique's amazing story, she's going to have so many tips and strategies too, because we're all navigating this, but we can become, our higher version of ourselves through this. And I do believe that as a world, and also just looking in the mirror, because I'm like, you know what? I need to get better with mindfulness, whether we're going through an epidemic or not, So without further ado, Monique, we always like to ask all of our amazing, amazing women on the show, what propelled you to get involved in real estate investing?
So I got into real estate investing completely by accident. I growing up, I was taught that success was, going to school and becoming a doctor, lawyer, professor, engineer. Like that was it. Those are the options. That was success. And I was a beautiful girl, but I didn't like math and sciences as much, so I went into law. And the only thing I'd been taught about real estate was that you should buy your own house. And so in 2005, I went to buy my own house. And this was towards the top of the last bubble. And I live in Los Angeles, which is a really expensive market. And even back 15 years ago, a modest house in a modest neighborhood. I'm not talking about a palace or a mansion in Beverly Hills or Bel Air. It's like modest, was upwards of like $500, $600, $700,000. So I, even though I was working at a law firm, I had a case salary, 6 figures, I couldn't afford anything by myself. And a friend of mine who was in a similar boat suggested that we purchase a duplex together. He would live on one side, I would live on the other side. And I thought, okay, that's a good idea. I can afford half a house, so let's do it. But instead of finding a house with 2 equal sides, we ended up finding this old, beautiful craftsman that had a bigger downstairs, and upstairs was this smaller 2-bedroom apartment, and there was a converted garage in the back. And so instead of each taking a unit, we each took a bedroom in the larger unit. We rented out the upstairs, we rented out the back house, we even rented out our basement. And before I knew it, we were house hacking. I didn't know that was a thing, but that's what we did. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. These people are paying our mortgage. And, it's like, I get tax benefits. This is sweet. And then when I met my husband, he had a duplex. And then we got a single family rental together. And after the crash in 2008, and we started to flip. We started to flip houses. So that was how I got into real estate investing, kind of by accident, realizing that it could be used as a means to help supplement. And then like in 2008, I really needed to get into real estate investing when the economy crashed. So I was pregnant at that time. I got pregnant. So I got married in 2007. I was pregnant with my daughter in 2008. And when I was about almost 6 months pregnant, I got fired. So I was.
Well, that's a very good timing, right? 2008, you got
this was before,
and then
before everything went down. I know.
My goodness.
Yeah, this was like late spring, early summer of 2008. So it was already not great. I mean, I literally went in expecting to get a bonus, and then I got fired. So
wow.
And and then my stomach had just popped, like all of a sudden, like the week before I started to look really pregnant. Like until then I just looked fat,
we have that period. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That you're like, hold on, am I pregnant? Am I not fat? I had that period. I was like, for the love of God, I want to look very, very pregnant.
Exactly. You just look like you're gaining weight. So I was super excited that week because finally I looked pregnant. Like I didn't just look fat. And then I was like, oh, great. Now I look really pregnant and I have to go look for a job. And I decided, you know what? I look too pregnant to look for work right now. So I'm going to wait until after I give birth, and then I'll do a maternity period, and then I'll find a new job. And my daughter was born in August of 2008, late August of 2008. Like within a month, the markets were crashing. There was no jobs in sight. And which is fine because I actually hated being a lawyer. It was so miserable. So it was a gift, in the end. That didn't feel like a gift at the time, but it was a gift. And so, but I was like, I had this newborn. The economy was in free fall. My husband was self-employed. His income went down like 90% at the time, and we were like, we couldn't rely on jobs at the time, but luckily we had our real estate. So that really helped save us. And I'm like right now, that's come up a lot for me at this time, especially at this time as we're like looking at the markets like tumbling and crazy economy and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, this is why I'm so passionate about what I do. I'm so excited for what you do, like helping people, especially women, get into real estate and get those extra passive income streams. Get that, because it's like that real estate that we had was a safety net for us. It helped keep the roof over our heads. It it allowed us options. Because I don't know what would have happened if we didn't have that at the time. So we sold one of the properties, we used that, and then we got into flipping at the time, and then we learned about syndication. By the time we learned about syndication like 2015, and then we got into that in 2016. But from probably like 2009 on, it was our real estate that helped sustain us.
Right. Yeah. So it was not an overnight, right? So some people that might know you now and know your success and everything, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky, right? So that period of being lucky was a lot of hard work. And where you guys are right now with syndication, the amount of units that you currently own and everything. What are the lessons that you learned in 2008 that you're like, oh, this is going to apply in this situation right now, or you think that this is so unique that we're just like throwing darts on the wall and figuring out like wherever it lands, it lands?
Yeah. I mean, this is a unique period. It's hard to know like how long this is gonna go, but it's still the past. There's cycles, right? And the past leaves clues, right? So it was such a good question that you asked. I think the main things that I've learned that I think could apply again. First is that I guess the first thing is that there's a lot of opportunity in this period. I just heard this, and I don't, there was like basically like the word for crisis in Chinese is like two characters. One character means danger, and the other character means opportunity. And within this moment, there's both. And depending on how you look at it and what you look for, you can see the danger and then it like takes you out, or you can see the opportunity and it can springboard you.
Wow.
And lift you higher. And I think that in this time, like most people are going to contract, most people are going to run away, most people are going to like make pretty dumb mistakes. They sort of like follow the herd, and the herd, you know, it's like our reptilian brain is like danger, danger, like they got scared and it runs like in the opposite direction. And then, but if you can flip your focus from like what's the danger to what's the opportunity, then you can find it, because there's more opportunity now than ever. Right now it's still like things are still being like shuffled, and but especially as things like start to calm down, and we get on the other side of this virus, there's going to be all of this opportunity. So being ready for that opportunity is going to be, and then like being able to take it. So one is like looking for the opportunity. Another thing, so, you know, when we started to flip in LA, like at the time, houses were on sale, right? They were all of a sudden the values had gone like way down, like 50, you know, in some cases like 50%. It was so much cheaper. So there's a lot of opportunity, but most people, especially at the beginning, were too afraid to hop into it. So looking for that opportunity. And then the next piece, what is having the mindset where you're, or like the courage, like exercising your courage muscles, so that you actually will go for it. Because most of the people who will be going after opportunities right now are going to be going against the crowd. They're going to be not doing what everyone else is doing, because most people are going to be running in the opposite direction. And it's going to go against like the crowd wisdom, the herd wisdom, I'm going to put that in quotes, and the herd mentality, I guess you could say. And so it, you know, when times are sunny, like a month ago or 2 months ago, where it looked like, hey, this economy will never go down. It's just like everything's so great. Look,
right?
You know,
isn't it funny?
Yeah. So, you know, it's so weird how different the world is right now than it was a month ago. But at that point, it's like everybody's like, yeah, real estate's great, everything's great, like the market's great, like everything's always gonna like go up. It feels that way, so everyone wants in. But then when it's like going down, that's when people are running scared. So having like that mindset and the psychology to be able to go against the crowd, because I you know, there are these free courses on like Ivy League courses that you can study
for free.
Yeah. So I signed up for one. I've been doing this one on like viral marketing, and it just like talks about like how, like what makes things viral and what makes not. And so just watching a session about like social influence and what crowds do to people. And even when you know something, like if they'll do these experiments where might be like, look at this line and then look at these lines. Like which line is the same as this one, like in box A or box B. And then they'll have like the subject be last in a line of like 8 people, and like all 8 will give the same answer but the wrong answer. Like it's obviously wrong. I feel like the one is like the smallest, and they're all like, yeah, it's that second line, and then the person, the subject's like, no, it really isn't. But so like all the people are going, yeah, it's the second line, and then by the time they go, like most people will go, yeah, it's the second line. Because even though they like their eyes are telling them that it's not, they're like with all of these other seeming strangers are doing something else. They're gonna like we're so our brains are so like geared to be with everybody, to be with the crowd,
like the
conform.
Jones effect.
Yeah, so it's hard to like go against what like everybody else is doing. Like it takes like a real strong mindset to be able to go, okay, yeah, I know everybody's running in that direction, but like this is where all the opportunity is. And so like having that mindset to be able to go after it. And then and I think the other thing is that's important. I mean, right now what's important is staying healthy. With that, health is wealth. This wasn't what was then last time, but like I think you need that healthy, but also like keeping your like a certain amount of like financial health, so taking action, but really like making sure the fundamentals are strong. Like the fundamentals are the fundamentals, and like taking smart action. And so there is opportunity, but I think it's still the time to be conservative, really conservative, take smart actions. Like not everything's gonna work out. It's not like, oh, everything in real estate was a good plan. It's like, no, that's not true. Like there are opportunities, but not everything's an opportunity. So other things are gonna be losers. So it's like really learning like what is the difference between like what's a good opportunity to go forward, like what makes sense, what's smart, like, and then what doesn't, so that you're taking smart action, and not like gambling, not risking too much, going for it, but really intelligently and conservatively, I think at this point.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. I was saying to someone too, people are so, especially for folks, I know, Monick, you have a lot of units that you're managing and you have control over, and same with us. So we're in like problem solving mode, right? So, but beyond problem solving mode, you're also you're studying I said, we need to study every single property we own and every market that we're in literally now until the next year for 1 year. And to start to see that's going to tell you so many things, like, did you put enough cash reserves, aside? Or obviously, and that's pretty obvious, you're going to know where to go, but it's like almost like your own like experiment. Were they the right markets? How did that market fare versus this market? Especially if you're investing out of state and you're in maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 different markets, which, a lot of people are. So I'm like, you have to kind of enter it in, not just like reactivity, which I think some people are in, and obviously just trying to figure out, has April going to work? Are people going to pay their rent? But more importantly too, as we weather the storm, what's the real impact? And what is that telling you on future acquisitions? That's kind of where my mindset is. And I think I know the answer, but I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, right?
Tell us.
I think for our own portfolio, I think our purchases we made later in our tenure of investing are probably going to fare better than the stuff that we started with, in New Jersey. And that's just my hunch, but I don't know. Obviously the markets that we're in that are a little more Class B are probably going to fare better than, we have a couple of properties and, a number of properties in Class C environments. I think they're probably going to be hit harder. Again, I could be completely off. That's just my hunch, but I'd be interested to see if I'm right. Either are our hunches and what we know in your own real estate experience going to prove out what you did and it was the right choice 3, 4, 5 years ago that you purchased, or is it going to teach you something new? I think we're in uncharted times. I do believe. So there are cycles, but I don't know. I'm trying to be curious versus just reactive as well. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the past couple of years, we've been focusing on recession resistant, like really thinking about, because I mean, I never expected this level of like crazy, but I was expecting us to have a recession. And I was like, any day now it's gonna happen. We're overdue. So I knew that was coming. So I was, the past couple of years I've been trying to get that. So, and I agree with you that, most class C, it's gonna be really hard because you have a lot of people in that demographic that are hourly, that have, like service job. They're, a lot more like paycheck to paycheck, one paycheck away from economic disaster. I mean, most Americans are, unfortunately. But so that demographic is likely going to be harder, though. We got some C-class properties last year, but our focus was on Section 8. So that is, it's like right now, that's probably like one of the safest places to have tenants because the government's paying the rent. And then for any of you who have Section 8 out there, you can tell your tenants if they lose their job and they let them know, then the government can pay their share. They have a portion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they should call right away to see if they can up the Section 8 payment so that the government can do 100%. But yeah, so that, like, other than Section 8, yeah, most C class is gonna really hurt. A lot of B class too, but there, actually yesterday I was on a mastermind with a bunch of multifamily owners, and we were just like brainstorming about different strategies that we can take, and just to like right now it's a loss mitigation mode. We're not trying to like raise the NOI,
exactly, right? Increase the profit. Yeah.
Yeah. What can we improve to raise rents? Is like, no, right now you just try to like stem the losses as much as possible. So like, that's the first thing, like your focus goes from like, okay, here's your lease is up. We're going to raise your rent $50 or 100. I was like, no, like right now it's like, yeah, like let's keep our tenants that we already have at the same rent. Like nobody's getting rent increases, or we just want to keep people coming in, keep the people we have, and then also like maybe even incentivize them to pay early. Like, hey, we'll take $50 off if you pay like $50 off a month if you pay April and May. Like some people might be able to pay early, and like now they might have a job, they might not have a job in a month. So like how can you incentivize them to pay earlier? How can you and then figuring out what resources are available for your tenants to help them pay. So maybe like right now, like I haven't gotten into this new act that was passed on Friday, but there's a lot of money in there for people. So there's like the checks that are just going to come out there that's going to be sent to everybody, but also for businesses. So say, like some of your tenants are like sole proprietorships and they have their own business. They can have some money that can help, pay for the rent. So like finding different things, like helping them, like, oh, you lost your job, here's unemployment, here's how you apply, here's how you, like, helping them like stay, keep the money coming. Finding like if there are any, so certain essential businesses are hiring. So, so like food distribution places, or, medical, or like places maybe making masks, and like all these things, like certain people are hiring. So figuring out like what are employers in your community that are open for business, busier than ever, and hiring. So that, oh, you lost your job, here, this place and this place and this place are hiring. So you can look here and get a new job. So just helping your tenants as much as possible so that they can weather the storm, so you can weather the storm.
Exactly.
And so you can just like maintain as much as possible your cash flow, because for businesses, cash flow is oxygen.
It
We all
is.
need to be able to breathe.
So I was actually having this conversation with another friend, and we were like, I see a couple of posts on Facebook that people are like really relaxing and catching up on things. And I was like, maybe I am like in a different, I don't know, but
I'm
people
busier
that
than ever.
I know.
I'm
not
wish I had
relaxing.
more.
I will love to, do all of this and just really relax. Especially my mind was like, well, things are in a break. So I am not. And I was sharing with her that the people that I surround myself with, they are also not. Right? We're always in mastermind classes and virtual conferences, virtual meetings, virtual everything. And our conversation is like, okay, where is the opportunity now? How can we serve people? How can we, wave this wave? And it came to my mind, you guys remember that pilot that Lyndon his on the Hutchinson River?
Hudson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like that. The Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So he was
Sully.
asked,
Something Sully.
yeah.
he was asked once, how you had like 3 minutes, right, to prepare for this. How were you able to do it? He's like, no, I prepare for that my entire life. Was the 3 minutes was like the application of my preparation. So, and that's what I'm seeing now. Like we all go through, pay for thousands of dollars on training, masterminds. We pay to burn our feet, walk on fire. We pay to, do
Yeah.
silly things.
Yeah.
I am all of it. I did like crazy imaginable things to like break my patterns, understand how my brain works, and like reshape my mind and everything. So now all of that is being kind of like tested, right? So like, goodness, not that we are this like human being that we're like invincible, that we don't have days that we're like, oh, F this, or we're crying, but we don't stay in that mentality. And I think that really connecting deeper with your tribe helps to get out of that mentality quicker, and also to strive. So for you, Monick, the mindset, right? We're all having those conversations about problem solving and looking at future opportunity. Of course, we are very mindful of the families that are suffering right now, but we're also thinking those families are going to have issues that we're going to be able to solve in the future.
Yeah.
Our tenants, we're kind of like in training mode. I was having a conversation with Anna Kelly and different leaders about how maybe we can train tenants in finances in a couple of videos for them to set themselves up. So right now, do you think that people are going to be in like a educational mode and will invest in themselves if they are in that situation that they're like confused, or they're just gonna shut down and just pretend that nothing is happening?
I think there'll be a lot of people that will shut down and they're just going to Netflix and chill for the next few months. And all they want to do is binge watch TV and, but I think that smart people are taking this time to educate themselves. And this is reminding me that I'm hosting a virtual summit next week, April 7th through 9th, on how to survive and thrive through real estate. So the psychology and strategy you need to weather this economic storm we're in, basically. So bringing together 12 incredible women who are experts in money mindset, the like economic forecasting, taxes, and then all of these asset classes that are poised to do really well right now, to share about like how best to navigate this system. So that's a 3-day summit. You should come. General admission is free. So it's a way to learn and to and also like connect. So I think we all need community as well. But so like connecting with other women,
Yes.
we have for our at the VIP level, we have these like nightly happy hours, like
Nice.
with the speakers and virtual happy hours, to have that connection, but then also learning. So I mean, I know I'm definitely doing a lot to learn. I was saying how I was doing this, one of those free UPenn courses, and just like, well, okay, well, what can I learn? How can I sharpen my saw, right? As they say, like that's that Abraham Lincoln story, right? It's like, if you had 12 hours to cut down a tree, what would you do? It's like, I'd take 11 hours to sharpen my saw, or sharpen my axe, right? Sharpen my axe. And so this is like axe sharpening time right now.
Absolutely.
Because like while we're all at home, we can't go out and do much, but until then, like this is like axe sharpening time. This is like the time to learn. So the time to really figure out, it's like, okay, what are those opportunities that'll be out there? How can I take advantage of them?
Yeah.
Like, what do I have to have in place so that when we're free to go out again, we can like go, like hit the ground running, and take advantage of the opportunities that exist.
Absolutely. And we're going to put a link in our show notes, ladies, for anyone that wants to attend Monique's virtual conference. Really excited about it and supporting it. And we'll put a link in there too, so you can follow, get in, get your ticket as soon as you can. She's probably curated some amazing women. So, hands down. So just wanted to recommend that. It's interesting what we're talking about too, because I had the conversation with my husband. So instead of watching Netflix last night, we were like, talking to my husband, because I do work with him, has been like literally the hardest thing, right? We usually have like our Friday days where the kids would be in their, daycare and school, and we'd go have a little lunch, we'd ride our bikes, have a little meeting. Like that's just not happening, right? Obviously now. And I don't mean to say that in a funny way, but it really, so at nighttime, I usually fall asleep. So, it's just been interesting. And my husband likes to sleep in sometimes. So trying to get each other on the same page has been hard. So last night we sit down. I said, all right, I got like maybe 15 minutes. I didn't have the best day. Just probably got 15 minutes to talk about this. And he's like, we really need to make that hire that we've been talking about. And I'm like, now? So then my like fear of cautiousness came up, right? Like, this is the worst time to hire people. That was like my negative, like Liz negative talk. And then we kept talking about it. I'm like, you're right. This is the best time. So this is actually a very interesting time we're in, as long as you're conservative, obviously, in your numbers and your cash flow, obviously, all those sort of things. This might be the time to do things you've been putting off. And I don't think people are talking about that. And we've been putting this off. I mean, I've been writing an SOP. Andressa knows. Me and writing down processes is not like a marriage made in heaven. However, you laugh, Andressa, but I've been getting better.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Listen, I like that positive encouragement.
Although, one thing you could do, and this is because the writing process is not my thing either. And it sounds like whoever you hire should be good at processes.
That's right.
like as a, like that should be their thing. So hire them and get them to do the process.
Right. Well, that's the thing, Monique. Really, for me, I'm like, I got to have it complete. I did 66% of it. I was very like, but I'm like, you know what? Sounds good. What do you need my help with? He's like, really? Because then I thought about it and I really came back. I'm like, you know what? As long as you ran the numbers and fees and you feel confident and we know, I don't want to hire someone and let them go. That would not be good. But if you feel confident, the numbers on that business a little better than I do, I'll get out of the way. I'm in. He's like, oh, okay, cool. So, but like, I'm excited. Literally, Monique, I've been talking about this for a year, and it's not the highest and best use in our real estate business. And I can put my energy in other things that is aligned with what I'm good at and is aligned with my core genius. Right now, this is the time to be discovering what are you drawn to? What's your passion? What do you love to talk about and learn about? This is a great time to rediscover that for ourselves. And instead of contracting, you're absolutely right. Because my initial was like, hold on, we're talking about getting some landscaping done. I'm like, no. We could do it ourselves. He's like, well, I actually ran the numbers and we'd only be saving about $200. I'm like, oh, all right, that's different. But again, we all want to contract, and that I'm not saying like go and like have a crazy party and spend tons of money right now. I'm not suggesting that, ladies.
Virtual party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete sidebar, but a building we used to own was on the news, and they had a Corona party, and these apartment, yeah, they had a Corona party, and they had about this is about a 500 square foot proper, unit, if you will. It's like a 1-bedroom. They had 45 people in there.
You're kidding me right now.
No. Yesterday, Matt goes, "You want to laugh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I need all the laughs I can get." He's like, "Look at the property." I'm like, "Oh my God." Yeah. Corona party. And they're like pressing charges now. They had 45 people in a 500 square foot property.
That is
New Jersey.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. I had to just say that. It was just really.
Where is it? New Jersey?
Were they
Yeah.
trying to get Corona? Was that what
They just were like,
yeah, right. Let's do it so we all can get it and we share it.
They just were probably just doing the whole, finger up and like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, you got to be like, seriously, like
45 people all convinced each other that was a good idea.
Yeah. Thank the Lord. Wow. We don't own that building anymore. So, it's been a while, but it's just kind of like, our property's on the news for a Corona party. That's interesting. Doesn't seem like a good idea. Yeah. But I love what you said, Monique. And I think we all need to keep ourselves in check, because some of us who are more cautious people, and a lot of women are, you teach women just like us, a lot of cautiousness and traditionally, and we all have to keep that. Like sometimes there's a time to be cautious. And then there's a time to say, my hand is closed. I need to open it. And I need to be like, okay, let's hire that person conservatively, but let's do it since we've been putting that off. Now is the time, not in 6 months. Now we'll probably get better talent too, to be perfectly honest. We'll probably get someone who we can really help, and they may be between jobs. This might be a perfect fit, So I need to take that lesson, because all of us have these things that are coming up for us. Wherever your stuff is, I don't know, everyone's got something that they're working through, and that is for me. And I'm like, okay, put my cautiousness aside. Let's do it, So Monique, a couple of things we want to just share with you, or want to hear from you about is, before we go to like how ladies can learn about you, I really want to share, we don't get a lot of women who've been investing as long as you have, and I think that there's a lot of value in that. So what has been like the greatest lesson you've learned over the 14 years you've been doing this?
Oh my gosh. There's so many. It's hard to like pick one.
Especially that could be helpful to women right now.
Yeah. One thing that I think is important to do, and you can't do this immediately, but this is just in general. It is important to diversify. So you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, whether that's like the same market, the same asset class, the same everything. And so you want to try to get diversify as much as possible. So that will help when things are crazy, that there might be something over here that they're not correlated, and they're something might be going with the cycle and something else is counter cyclical, or different things. That will really help, is having that that diversity in your portfolio. Now, I don't think that means that you should necessarily try to learn everything so you can have that diversity. So that might be, okay, I'm going to do some passive investments and get into a syndication and this other asset class or this other market, or maybe some turnkey properties or some other things, so that you can, it'll just help hedge your bets. And that's something that has really helped us, especially in this time around, having, I mean, knock on wood, it'll stay that way. It's hard to know. It's still at the beginning. So hopefully in a year, I'm not everything tanks, all of it, all 6 states, all the assets, everything, I don't know, but
You're absolutely right.
So,
you're absolutely right. Smartly diversifying.
Yeah. And then having having really the smartest people around you, and are learning, or I guess education too. Always learn, always be educating yourself, because as conditions change, your strategies will have to change, and so always, I've never stopped learning. I'm kind of I'm a kind of I'm a personal development and education junkie a little bit. I was like, I might need help. Like I might need a 12-step program, but I'm like obsessive with that.
Adressa needs a 12-step program. Absolutely.
Huh?
You need a 12-step program. You're always like, I'm
For,
reading
like, personal
15 books.
development.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't help
me.
it. I just don't know. Like, that's how I operate. My mom's like, what are you reading now? I was like, well, I have this book, and this book, and I have this audio book going on. She's like, how did you keep up? I was like, how other people do it? I cannot just stay with one book. I gotta have like diversify
like
my
5
book.
or 6 at a
Right,
time.
isn't it?
And then I'm like, I'm told whatever that 12 step, like my name's Monique and I'm a personal development junkie. Personal development holic. Anyway, but that education I think has served me so well. Because I'm always, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to this real estate conference or learn about this mode. And secretly that's partly why I like having my podcast too, because I bring in women that are doing all these different things and I can learn from them. And so that I think helps keep that axe sharpened, right? So that would be the other thing. So like just continue to learn, and because strategies will change, especially as the economic cycle changes. Like what worked a year ago may not work right now, and there are other things that will be a much better bet. So keep that axe sharpened and keep learning.
Great advice. Great advice. Monique, where can the ladies listening learn more about you and all the great resources you have?
Well, the best place, head to my website, reigoddesses.com. But you can find me at REI Goddesses on social media, Twitter. Not really Twitter much, but I have one. It's more Instagram, I guess. And Facebook.
That's awesome. And we're going to put all this information on our show notes, including the upcoming summit. So you can have a discount over there with our code. And now we're going to transition to our fabulous 3 questions. And the first one is, what's the most transformational book you have ever read?
I like you, I read so many, but the one that I always turn back to is from this author called Florence Scovel Shinn. I think it was written 1928. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It.
I have not read that one.
Oh,
taking notes.
So good.
All right.
Open it at random because there's it's small, but like every line in there is just nuggets of gold. So.
And I'm really into like older books, and so impressed how like current they are. So impressed. So, okay. The next question is, what's the most powerful routine you do to create a financially free and balanced life?
I think it's my morning routine. So I wake up, I have I meditate, I journal, I ask myself the one thing question, like what's the one thing I can do that'll make everything else easier or unnecessary. I have a morning sensual session with my husband. So like daily sex helps keep us both connected. We use orgasm actually as a manifestation tool.
Look at this. This is the first ever that you heard this, ladies. You're here for a treat.
Love it.
I know. Actually, if you look into Think and Grow Rich, it kind of talks about
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Sex transmutation, term like that.
Transmutation. Yeah.
Transmutation. Yeah. Not transportation. Sorry. Transmutation.
But it does carry you places. It
does carry you places. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
and I'm like, even if it doesn't work, whatever, like you're having orgasm. There's no downside to this.
There we go. And the last question, Monique, is which woman, famous or not, has inspired you the most?
So my mom is the woman who's inspired me the most. And I learned from her the power of like self-care. Actually, when I was younger, she was not into that at all. It was like really I usually like could get into rages, really unhappy. And she and my father split up for a year and a half when I was 13. And then she went to therapy, and she just learned, like, she realized that happiness was something that she had to take. Her own happiness was her job. So she started to exercise and get her nails done and like just take care of herself, and just became this different person. She and my father got back together again. They've been together now 53 years.
Wow.
And that has, and like that, I just saw what a difference that made. Just like taking care of, just caring for yourself, like putting your own oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of women, we see the opposite. Like we put the husbands first, the kids first, everything else first, and then we get the dregs. And that creates this epidemic, I think, of like depression and rage, and people trying to like fill themselves up with food or shopping or whatever.
Yeah.
As opposed to like just figuring, it's like, okay, what would make me happy? And then going for that. So that has really, that lesson has served me throughout my life. And then I've done other work as if with the feminine, and realized like the power of pleasure for women, and how that has shifted. But my mom was my first model, and then she's just like beautiful, open-hearted, generous, loving person. And that, and I mean, there are a lot of lessons I learned from her, but that's one of the main ones.
That's awesome.
That's wonderful. Monick, thank you so much for being on our show. We're excited to just continually, be in relationship with you, and just as we're so aligned. It's exciting to be on this path with you and figure out more and more things we can collaborate on, and, just excited. And we really appreciate your time.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you, Monick. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.